Guys, so here I am on my beach in Mexico. There we go. That's a shot from the movie, right? You got Andy with his boat there. Red is showing up finally to meet him in this great ending to the movie. Of course, you guys are doing your final projects on this part where I doing a video about what do they say to each other, because in the movie they just hug, right? That's the end of the movie. So you guys are going to have a video about what they say to each other. So that's exciting. So here I am. I'm in my I'm disappearing on this video here. But yeah, so let's do it. Quite the exciting, wonderful ending. Let me switch over to my screen so you can see me here, or see the movie, I mean. So we actually have, of course, Red is finally getting released from jail, right? And he gets approved stamp, right? Because he just says what he really feels. I bet he thinks, geez, I should have done that in the beginning, should have been more honest, and then they would have released me earlier. So here he's finally getting released. Okay, so look at this, right? It says Brooks was here. So it's the same room Brooks had, right? Brooks was in. At this point, we're kind of worried about Red. How's he gonna do? How will he make it on the outside? Is he going to be able to survive, right? So not easy. He's just like Brooks. Remember, you guys learned the word institutionalized. That was actually the big term that I learned from this movie. I saw it first time around your age. Institutionalized. See, we have this word here, right? Let's go to all. Okay, right. So institutionalized, right? This word, you learned this before. We have established in practice or custom, established as part of an official organization. So anyway, the meaning here is that someone, when they stay in jail a long time, they get used to it, right? They get used to the institution of jail. And it's hard to get used to normal life outside the jail again, right? So that's what's going on here with Red.
Restroom break, boss. You don't need to ask me every time you need to go take a piss. Just go. Understand? "40 years I've been asking permission to piss. I can't squeeze a drop without say so."
So for 40 years, Red has been asking for permission to piss, right? He's been asking for permission. He's asking if it's okay if he can go to the bathroom for 40 years. Let's put in piss here in the dictionary, see what we get. Okay, here we go. So piss.
Piss.
Don't forget we got this little button here. You can hear what a word sounds like, how you say it.
Hiss.
Again, many students, they just kind of read the word and do their best that way. But you should always
Hiss.
push this button, then you hear it, then you know how to say it, okay? Okay, so it says this is vulgar slang. So that's considered kind of rude. It's not polite to say that, right? Okay, so here for meanings we have usually a discharge, something from the body. Okay, urine, right, means the yellow stuff that comes out of the body, right? Waste water. So that is the meaning here. We use that as a verb, right? Also as a noun. So here, the first thing they give you is here's the verb, right? And it has urinate, right? And then noun, urine. Okay, so useful word, right? We use that all the time. So he's Red has been asking if he can do this for 40 years, hard to stop. And then his manager says, yes, yes, right, you can go use the bathroom, no problem. You don't have to ask me, just do it, right? So this all looks familiar. We've seen this before with Brooks, right? Brooks was working at the same supermarket. Brooks was doing this walk here. Remember, he said when he was a boy, there were not many cars, just a few cars, right? Brooks talked about that. Well, now, when Brooks got out, lots of cars, and he was kind of afraid of the cars. Now, Red is in the same situation, walking around.
There's a harsh truth to face. No way I'm gonna make it on the outside.
Okay, so he's talking about a harsh truth, right? So we can always check our words in here. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, what about harsh? So there's harsh, right? Harsh, right?
Harsh.
And then it's unpleasantly rough, jarring to the senses, okay? Cruel or severe, right? Okay, so harsh, right? Okay, good. And then he says the word truth. You guys know the word truth, right? Okay, truth.
Truth.
So quality of state of being true, right? You guys, you know some of these, most of the words in this movie, I think. Don't forget, again, to check the script, right? If you're not sure what they're saying, probably you're reading some, we call subtitles, the words at the bottom of the screen, right? You'll probably have English and you'll have Chinese. Okay, great. It doesn't hurt to check, right? If you're not quite sure about what was that word, check it. Easy to do in Chinese, obviously, and then in English as well.
All I do anymore is think of ways to break my parole. So maybe they'd send me back.
Okay, he's talking about thinking of ways to break my parole. Okay, so parole means you're out of jail, but you could easily go back to jail if you're not following the rules, right? So break my parole means I do something bad, go back to jail. Okay, so of course, looking at guns, he's looking at, this thing's called a compass. So he's looking at a compass as well. And we will see that in a minute. I'm sure you remember why he would want to think about buying a compass. So go back here again. Okay, we've got compass. Right, here's compass. And it's this first definition, right? The thing we just saw in the movie, compass, right? So parole, there's parole, right? Parole.
Parole.
Okay. So here it's talking about you can get out of jail, but you have to be good, right? Then you can stay out of jail. But for some time, you know, some period of time, you have to check with the we call parole officer, right? Make sure that you're being good, stuff like that. So anyway, Red is thinking about violating, so going against his parole, then he'll go back to jail. Remember, Brooks did the same thing, right? Brooks was talking about doing some kind of crime, but he decided to commit suicide, right? Brooks committed suicide instead of doing a crime. And he talks about being an old crook. Remember crook? We had that word before, crook. So then Red uses the same word here. So it's crook, right?
crook,
Okay, so a person who is dishonest or a criminal. Okay, so that's the meaning here of crook. Okay, this is the end of part one. I'll do another video here for you to watch. Hope you're enjoying the end of the movie.